Hello, friends.
Oh, we're doing this again.
It's time for the spectacular.
Oh, I'm excited.
A jumbo series of live shows.
Cool.
With guests whom you all know.
We sure do.
We got all you need in the TV Co app, which is free. We're talking everyday life with BB alums, old school, new school. It's all epic fun. So let's get started, friends, because us three got a lot to discuss.
We do.
It's time to enjoy the show.
It is.
Let's see who'll be joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Guess who's enjoying the intro?
Hooray!
It's me, and I'm sorry, Nicole, I tried for you, but we got guests. We gotta start the show. Go, Nicole, start the show. Start it now.
Fine.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing, Nicole?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am so excited for a tech-free problem show.
I know, this was a lot smoother than a previous show.
Yes.
We are rocking and rolling. We're ready to go.
We are ready to go. I see we are live in the TV Co, on the Twitch, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Periscope. We are live everywhere. So welcome everyone, wherever you are watching this. And if you want to help support the shows, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. If you miss them, you can watch any of them back by heading over to our website, hellofriendspod.com. And of course, sharing the show. It's different wherever you guys are watching it, but share it now. Tell your friends, let everyone know that we're live. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chats wherever you are, or tweet us them using hashtag TVCoLive. Now,
Open
Nicole,
your window and yell to your neighbor right now.
open your window and
With a
yell.
mask on.
Yes, with a mask on, wherever. But look.
Yes.
I'm going to let you introduce our guest, which I have to say I am so excited about.
Yes.
And a little bit mad at, but so excited about.
You have a bone to pick.
So I'm going to let you do the honors. Nicole, take it away.
Okay. Good afternoon, evening, friends. I'm super excited. Our guest today is not only a BB Comics illustrator, and I'm very happy with him because my comic is gorgeous, but just found out he's a Mets fan, so this just makes my day even better. So super excited to present to you Michael Borkowski.
Now that was wonderful, and I loved how you did that, Nicole. You did that great. I'm not blaming.
Am I supposed to appear now?
No, yes. You should have appeared now, 100%. Totally my fault.
What'd you do?
No, because here's what I thought, Nicole.
I'm sensing sabotage because you're not in the comic, but go ahead.
Nicole got it right. It was sabotage because I was not in the comic and I wanted to do the intro. No, Nicole, it was mild sabotage. That's the fun of doing like the live show. But so here's what I'm going to let you do, Nicole.
Okay.
You get one more chance to do over because we edit these, Michael. Go ahead. You get one more do over. We're good now.
Okay.
It's all fixed.
All right. Me.
You got this.
Okay, guys, the Podmaster is speaking. Hello, everybody. And today we are presenting to you a phenomenal human being who is not only the BB Comics illustrator, but just found out he's a Mets fan, which makes my day even better because, yes, I don't really know baseball, but the Mets, they're my people. So we present to you Michael Borkowski.
Yay!
Yay!
There I am. Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
Michael. How are you?
It's all good and it's working now. How you doing, Michael?
Good. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
I'm doing fine and dandy.
I mean, we'll get there. Oh, we'll get there.
I've heard a little bit.
You've
I've
heard?
seen
No,
it.
Oh, man.
don't worry. I fixed it.
Word got around.
Word has gotten around the BB streets. Well, for those of you that don't know, Michael, you are one of the illustrators of the BB comics that we Big Brother fans and players get to enjoy and has become like a staple and hallmark of every season, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of them. I know a lot of people think I do like all of them, but yeah, I'm one of the illustrators. The past few years, it's been me and a guy named Tom Nguyen and Rob Miller. I think the last couple of years, it's been us three. There's been others like throughout the seasons, but the last few years, it's just been us three that have been doing them.
How many like seasons have you been doing it?
I've done it every season since the beginning, BB16 when they started BB Comics. So I've been a part of it every season. Yeah, it's been really fun to be a part of it every season.
That is absolutely incredible. Do they now? I know we've gotten so many questions about this whole process, and whatever you can share, we'd be very thankful if you could.
Mhm.
Do they tell you when the cast is revealed? Like, all right, this is the cast. Here's the people. You pick 4 or 5 of your favorites, or do they assign them to you, or is it shorter notice?
It is shorter notice. Usually it's at least halfway through the season before they even start contacting us. And we do not get to pick. We get them assigned, at least for the most part. I've been assigned them.
Oh wow, that is
That's
fascinating.
really interesting. I wonder how they assign them to certain artists. Like, is it a style? 'Cause I think for the most part, they do look pretty cohesive, like when you're playing the comps. But I wonder if it's more like a stylistic thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've wondered that myself, and I never really asked them. I do seem to get assigned women a lot, so I don't know if they like the way I draw women. But it seems like I do a lot of the women on the show, which
I like the way you drew this one.
I was gonna say, are they like draw them like the French girls? No, I had no clue until Nicole told me. I had no clue that there was several artists. I thought that it was just one that did all of them across the board. And as a matter of fact, and now I apologize because I forget his name, but I believe it's the person who you just said is going to be joining our good friends at Finding Neverland in the TV
Life After
co-op
Neverland.
on Life After Neverland. Why do I always do that? On Friday as well. So if you guys want to hear from one of the other BB illustrators, they will be in the TV co-op on Friday with Life After Neverland, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
So I think what we should start with this way, for the viewers watching, I feel like we should show the comics that you have drawn for the more recent season. So of course, this season of All Stars, you tackled myself.
Are we? Oh, okay. So you want to start with this season of All Stars?
Yes.
Okay. So we have Nicole's.
Yay!
Which, Michael.
Oh gosh.
I can give you a little insight into this.
Yes, we want so much.
I want. I'm ready.
With background characters, I try to be as generic as possible.
Well,
because
I'm told I'm very basic.
I don't want to run into any like legal problems or anything like that. So I just try to be very generic when I'm drawing. Like whenever we have to draw like criminals, I always put like a ski mask on them. Very nondescript. Try to be very basic.
Okay. I mean, I may have fixed it. I may have put Nicole taking me over, and not for one of our funny TikToks, we did that. But no, I couldn't believe how many people, when we were watching that, were like, Eric, that's you. That's you. You're the robber. You're the one up there robbing the bank. I was like, I am not up there robbing a bank. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. But here's another question, and I don't know if this is something that you can answer. Are you given the theme like specifically, or are you allowed to be creative when you're doing that? Because I think a lot of people were like, is Nicole a villain? Is she not a villain? Is she hypnotizing the people? Is she evil? To which I was like, she's evil, trust me.
They tell us pretty much exactly what they want as far as like the concept of everything, like with costumes and stuff like that. For instance, Nicole, like they didn't tell me what exactly, really they didn't say anything about what you should be wearing, so I just came up with like a superhero costume that I think you would wear. So
I love it. Rainbows.
And you would have been correct. That is exactly, she wears that outfit often.
I do, actually. So they come to you and they say, okay, you are assigned Nicole Anthony. We want her to be the podmaster. And then they say, like, we want her at a podcasting table with the microphone. And then you create it. And that's basically how it starts.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. Yeah. And they give me a lot of leeway with like, coming up with the whole concept and the whole costumes and things like that and color and everything like that. Like that's where I can kind of go off, creatively.
Right.
But yeah, they tell us the name, they tell us the tagline and what they want. And
oh, that's outstanding.
That is outstanding. Okay, I'm sorry. So next we have Keisha.
Keisha, one of my favorites, to be completely honest. One of my favorites ever. I'm obsessed with this one.
A lot of people did love the Keisha one. Then we have that's Tyler's, right?
This is from Tyler's first season.
That's from
first season.
Yeah, that's from BB20.
Okay. Sloppy's was other Nicole. I'm sorry, I always forget that there's the other Nicole. And and Cody's Califury.
And you've drawn several of Nicole's, correct?
I've done all of Nicole's. Every season she's been on, I've done. And it's funny because I actually read that Cody and Nicole were talking on the live feeds the other day about their comics. So I went back and I watched, and they were talking about, Cody really liked his, which it was nice to hear. And then Nicole actually recognized that the same artist did all three of hers. So that was pretty cool to see.
I don't know who did my comic last year, and that's my next investigation, is to find out which one of you did it. Because I know you didn't do it last year, but I want to find out.
Right.
Because I love both of them. But because I said, although they're very cohesive when you're watching or when you're playing the comp, I guess because I was so up close, you do see the different artistic styles and how I know last year you did Holly and Sam's, and those are two of the ones that while I was playing that comp, I was like, oh, these are a more sexy approach. I was like, these are in the X-rated aisle of the comic book store.
I know that we have. Well, first of all, yes, I have to say I was a big fan of Sam's. I did like Sam's, and then Holly's. Yes, loved it. I thought that they were brilliant. I mean, should we show the other ones from that season while we're here?
Absolutely.
We, of course, have Kemi.
Yes, Kemi.
And Kat from that
Kat,
season.
which is a really cool one.
Yeah, yes. I that's one of my favorite ones that I've done, actually. I just think it came out pretty cool.
It really did. I absolutely love it.
I love it. I do love the Kat one. Now, Nicole, I know that you're saying you need to investigate who did yours.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know which. Do you know who it was, Michael?
I think it was Rob Miller, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well,
and
then
that's Rob with two B's, ROBB.
I'll just say this, and maybe they're in the TV Co chat, but the Life After Neverland people that have the other comic, who I feel horrible that I'm forgetting their name, is the one that drew yours, Nicole. So you don't have to look very far.
Awesome.
You can head over to that show on Friday and check it out, and it'll be there. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
On that note, Michael, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be something that you're gonna be like, oh no, that's just you. But I noticed it last year on my comic, and I noticed it carried over into this comic. It's one of my favorite minor details is my hands. Because I know when I talk, I tend to kind of do the T-Rex fingers. So is that something that you were just drawing me and you noticed it, or did they say to you make sure you depict her T-Rex hands?
No.
How does that happen? Because I always talk like that.
That's funny because I really didn't even think about that, and actually I had my daughter posed for me so I could get reference for the hands. So those are my daughter's hands, kind of.
We're spirit animals.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in last year's comic. It's me walking down the street, and hopefully I can say this, when I was in the DR, production was like, did you notice your hands? And I'm like, I know. Why do I always talk like this?
No, they definitely didn't say anything about the hands. I just I wanted to do something where I didn't want you just sitting there, boringly at a table. So I just had your hands like you're really talking.
I love it. It's one of my favorite details.
I have to say, I don't know. I'm sure Nicole tagged you in them, but I don't know if you watched Nicole's real-time live reaction to seeing
I did.
her comment.
Did you?
I loved it. Yeah, it was great.
She was flipping out, which, as you know, I don't know if are they saved on your thing, Nicole, if people go back to see that? Okay, so they're on Nicole's Instagram if you guys missed it.
It was during our watch party too. I was screaming the whole watch.
Okay, so you can watch it back. We can't play it here because there would be too many copyright issues because I'm sure there'd be show audio in it. But it was basically just Nicole screaming, I love it, I love it, I love it, over and over again. And yes, these hands that Nicole brought my attention to, she just loved the hand detail, which I've never noticed that about you, but you swear by it, and now I've been watching for it.
I do a lot. If you ever watch my DR sessions, I do it a lot when I'm trying to express myself.
Interesting. That's just
I'm trying to not do it now. I'm like holding my hands.
That's just the faux Italian. I feel like I'm Italian. We talk with our hands a lot.
Yeah, but you're going like this. I don't know why fingers have to be bent. It's part of the emphasis.
I don't know. I think it's because you want to punch somebody. I saw a great question from from Annie in the TV co-chat. She said, you said that it was, that you don't find out until the middle of the season. How long are you able to say how long it takes you to draw a comic?
Yeah, it usually takes, an individual comic, it's hard to say because I'll do like, I'll get the idea, I'll have to do a sketch, send in the sketch, get that either approved or if they have any notes, and I make some changes, and then I, after it's finally approved, I go to ink and color it, and it probably takes me anywhere from 8 to 10 hours per cover, I would say, and they give a couple weeks. I can do, like this year I did 4 covers and it took me probably 2 weeks, something like that.
And now do you work on them all at the same time, like you're sketching all 4 and then you're coloring all 4, or do them one at a time?
It depends on how quickly they get them to us, because sometimes we'll just get like, here's your first one, and and then I work on that one, and then and it's every season it's been different. Like sometimes I get them all at once, sometimes I get one at a time. Like it's always different.
Interesting. I saw a good question from Alexander in the TV Co chat. He said, why do you always make Nicole F's comics based on her punishments? Because that's been a common thread throughout all 3 of her seasons.
Yeah, and like I said, I have no control over that. They tell me what to do, so I just draw what they tell me.
Because she, during the season this year, she basically gave herself a punishment by switching and giving, what was it, Davon, like a luxury, and then she took the punishment.
Right.
I thought it was on purpose to get her comics to all be like cohesive.
I don't think so, because I don't think we even were even working on it at the time, because that was pretty early in the season, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even think we were even talking about it yet.
Wow.
That is funny. That's a good point. So if she wouldn't have been sloppy as this season, right, then her comic probably wouldn't have been sloppy as.
And another thing that is a theme with all of these is we can't give away any kind of game information with this artwork. So I know I see fans get upset about, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And it's you can't give away things that the house shouldn't know,
Well, one of my fears was mine was going to be really bad, didn't trust her ally. It's just me shrugging on the cover. Oops.
Yeah. I mean, would it really matter for evicted people? I feel like that shouldn't matter for pre-jury people, but yeah. That definitely, I think that's why Nicole was so happy, because I feel like the week leading up to it, Nicole kept saying to me oh God, they're going to call me the betrayer. They're going to call me didn't trust my allies. But
yeah,
I'm
so
you're
afraid.
Fine. I'm you're fine. And I would argue that's the Zingbot's job to give the game stuff away.
True.
Right.
True.
That is the Zingbot's job. I, of course, see a ton of people asking across social media, have you always been a Big Brother fan? Or, I'm just going to put it like that, because I'm not going to ask you if you are, because of course you are. We all are part of that show, so we're all great big fans. How long have you been watching Big Brother, or were a fan of Big Brother?
Yeah, I actually didn't start watching until I got the job,
Really?
which was like halfway through BB16. So that's when I started watching, and like I was instantly hooked. So I've been watching like every season since, and like live feeds, and like now I'm like fully in, which I think actually helps me with doing the artwork. Because like with
Absolutely.
Nicole, with you, they didn't tell me anything about like what you would be wearing. So like
Mm,
basically I would probably just look at pictures of you and say, "Oh, she wears this kind of thing." But like from
yeah.
watching the show and knowing, about you through the show and your social media and stuff, like I know what what you might wear as a superhero.
Mhm,
Aw,
mhm.
that is so cool. Was there anybody like going into All Stars that you were like, oh my gosh, I hope this person comes back. I hope they pick me and I can draw them.
um I didn't really think about it that way. I was just kind of glad that there was going to be a season,
True.
because of,
Mhm.
That's very
obviously with everything going on, I was just like, "Oh, cool. There's going to be a season, that's great."
true.
I kind of didn't even really think about thought about it more as a fan than as an artist.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be like, oh, I really want to draw like I don't know, like Paul. Like I really hope Paul's on so I can draw like this like badass. Like that'd be really cool.
Right, right. Yeah.
I see a lot of people in the chat asking, I'll take it from Destinies. Was there ever somebody that you've wanted to draw that you didn't get the opportunity to draw from a Big Brother specifically?
Um Not really. I like my daughter has become a huge fan of the show the last couple
Mhm.
years. She's 15, and she loves Kevin this year, so she really wanted me to draw Kevin. So, but of course I didn't draw Kevin this year, so she was
Mm.
kind of but she was very happy that I got to draw you, Nicole.
Oh, I think oh, we lost Nicole for a moment.
Uh-oh.
She'll be right back. Don't worry. She will be right back here. I'm just going to do this to make it easy for everyone while we wait for. Oh, nope, she's back already. Hi, Nicole. Did you
I,
this
you know what? You mentioned Kevin, and I needed a freaking minute to cry about the fact that he was evicted. I needed to compose myself, but I'm back.
You're back. It's almost so we're just gonna wait 1 second. This is the other fun part of Skype and why everyone just loves a live show. Really, nobody will see any of this in the edited version.
I don't know
Don't
why that
worry.
happened. Someone called me, but I have it on Do Not Disturb. So wouldn't Do Not Disturb deflect the call?
Okay,
Didn't
wait a
happen.
minute. Was it Kevin from the jury house?
Could you imagine?
Imagine he's like, I'm going to use my one phone call on Nicole.
It's like jail.
Yes.
Call one person. I call Nicole.
All right, hold on. I almost have us all moved
Okay,
back.
sorry.
No problem. Okay, so here we go. Everyone's back in the right spots.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. So you said that your daughter loves Kevin. I feel
Mhm.
like I think Kevin will love to hear that. I feel like we have to I feel
Yes.
like there has to be a Nicole and Kevin Skype call to your daughter when the season's over.
Yes. I agree.
Oh my God, she'd lose her mind. I'm telling you, she's
Oh,
already losing her mind that I'm even doing this and I'm talking to you. And like when she saw your reaction to the comic, and like I think we were watching the show as it was airing, the BB Comics episode, and I think you. Oh, I tweeted out the drawing of you that I did, and then you liked it, and I told my daughter, "Hey, Nicole liked it," and she's like, "What?" She like started
so
freaking out.
that is
Oh.
So that
so.
was
Michael, I literally went through, like, I don't know what I went through. I went through, like, the stages of something. I started out screaming, and then, like, after, like, a commercial break, I started, like, tearing up, and Eric's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, no, like, to be drawn so incredibly and so beautifully, and it just captured my essence. It captured what I'm so passionate about with the podcast. And to be on an all-star season and have that comic exist, like it was a very emotional like episode to watch because so I thank you in that sense. Thank you for like creating me and giving me such a wonderful all-star memory.
I'm so glad that you liked it, and like that's what I hope for when I do these. I hope that I get that. No, I don't think I'm going to get like a massive reaction, but I hope like even back in BB16, I was watching After Dark. They just happened to come back from the first BB Comics comp, and they were talking about it, and it was so cool to watch everyone talking about it and what they thought of each one. So like, I love to see all the house guest reaction. Like last year they showed from the jury house, everyone getting their comics, and like, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I hope that we get another jury house with comics this season as well. I see maybe 420 says over in Twitch chat, speaking of, putting it out there and people loving it, is there any part of that that is hard for you? Has there ever been fans that have been super critical or upset you in the things that they've said about the comics?
No, I've never gotten really upset. I do see people like making comments about like they don't like certain ones, but that's everything. Like some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it, and you take the good with the bad, and as long as they're not like nasty about it, I got no problem with it. I've been doing this a long time, not just with BB Comics, but with other things. So I'm used to people like criticizing my artwork, and no one's a bigger critic of my artwork than I am. I'm very hard on myself, so
Yeah.
And sometimes you can learn from it. If someone says, "Hey, this looks weird," I'll take a look at it, and I can be critical of myself.
Absolutely, I think definitely artists, you pick on yourself more than anybody else possibly ever could.
Oh, 100%. And then I feel bad. I hope everyone knows I was kidding and that I love the comic, everyone. I just cannot pass up the opportunity to have the thing to play. Look, once Nicole sets me up for, comedic gold, in my opinion, she's sitting there screaming like, podcast is it? And I'm, oh, it's your podcast, is it? I'm the pod. I'm like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Is it just you over there? I'm gonna cry now. So I just like to give Nicole shit, but I loved it. I like Nicole said, I thought it was absolutely amazing. It's what kind of gave us the idea to do this show, because we had a million questions while we were live. We're like, how do they do that? How do they come up with that? Where did they do it?
When did they do it?
And then we were like, we need to do a show. We need to find Michael and get him on here.
I know you said that, like, they give you like the idea and the premise and whatnot, but, and I love this name, by the way, it's Izzy for Shizzy in the chat said, do you get to decide what the differences in the comics are? So like, do you tell them like, oh, I'm showing rays coming out of their like arms, and instead of 2, I'm going to do 4. Like, do you say the differences, or do they tell you, no, we want it specifically to be this?
Yeah, they tell us what they want the differences to be also.
Wow. That's so interesting. I really thought there was going to be more. Obviously, there's artistic license because you guys are talented. You draw as you draw. But I thought there was more artistic license in the sense of like, hey, here's this quirky unicorn girl that has a podcast. Good luck.
I have to say, well, first, I realized we didn't get to show the ones from 20.
Yes.
Was this from 20? The Dance-osaurus. Or the Dance-osaur. Of
Rachel?
course, Caitlin's. I mean, who doesn't love Caitlin's and Haley's?
Haley's awesome.
And then did I show the Queen Bey one?
Queen Bey, that's one of my favorites too.
I do love the Queen Bey one. But I have to say, Cliff Hogg is in chat, and Cliff says, I just want to shake hands with the person that came up with the quote jackass comment last year. A comic last year. So, Cliff, wasn't that hit? Wait, was that his comic?
Yeah.
That wasn't one of mine.
Yes, well, Cliff.
Michael's like, I'm not touching it. No responsibility there.
Cliff, you came in late. What we learned at the start of the show was there are several comics. Michael is not the one that created yours. So he is safe. We love Michael. You might want to tune in on Friday. No, go ahead.
Speaking of the chat, I saw Chicky D in the TVCO chat was asking, what are some other projects that you've worked on aside from Big Brother and Big Brother Comics?
I've done mostly over the last like 20 years or so. I've been a storyboard artist for cartoons. I work on all kinds of stuff like Scooby-Doo and You know, a lot of superhero cartoons and things like that. And I do children's books and sports art and all kinds of stuff.
That is really awesome.
And now, how did you get into that? Were you always into art when you were little? Like, did you go to school for it? Did you know this was always what you wanted to do, to be like an illustrator or a comic illustrator?
Yeah, I always wanted to draw. I even remember back when I was in like kindergarten, they had like a placemat drawing contest, and I won. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I won a competition for drawing. I guess I'm good at drawing. So I just kind of kept going from there. And, but I did not go to school. I started working with a local comic book artist right out of high school, and I was kind of like got an apprenticeship with him and worked with him, and then got into doing animation and moved out to LA for a couple of years, did animation, and then moved back to New York, and I've been doing freelance ever since.
I love it. I see Jackie over on YouTube says, Michael has brought us so much joy seeing the people's reactions to his comics, including Nicole's reaction this season was a gift. Not if you were sitting next to her, Jackie. Sweet nightmare.
I want to ask you, because I don't want to dare say artist or illustrator, but I do dabble with drawing. So I want to know, do you always do it like, pencil on paper? Are you more, which I cannot comprehend, like stylus on an iPad? Like, how do you begin?
I draw on, I don't do anything on paper anymore. I draw on a monitor, which I can kind of like.
Like how?
Well,
I
you
don't
probably can't see it.
Works.
I have another monitor right here, and I have like my stylus here, and then I just, there you go. And then I just draw right on. There's all kinds of different drawing programs that I use, and you can make it look like pencil, you can make it look like ink. So yeah, it's so much easier to edit, and I don't have to scan anything in with paper and things like that.
Yeah. Is it in front of you like flat, or is it in front of you like a monitor and you're drawing like on an easel?
Have it. I used it. It actually will go up and down as I need it. I used to have it kind of down flat, but then I got some major back problems, so I kind of have it propped up pretty straight up, at a little bit of an angle. And I had to learn how to draw that way. It was not easy, but it helped my back out a lot.
That's really interesting, because I don't even think I could. I don't know. That would be a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
I have been trying to get Nicole to draw a little bit on the like on the iPad.
Right.
Because I'm like, I feel like she would do it more. I have to say, Nicole, I'll say it. Nicole did a show here in the TV Co-op where, how there are like times when they're your friends and they say that they're good at something and you're like, oh yeah, we're going to all have to fake this. She did a show for her show where she showed off her artwork that she did in high school and college in these contests that she entered. And when I tell you that we were all so blown away, I seriously had a conversation with Nicole where I said, I don't think you should do this with me anymore. Like, I was blown away. I was like, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing in life.
But see, I couldn't do what you do, Michael, though. I couldn't be told, here's your idea, you have a week to do it. Like, I would panic. Like, right. I need, like, all the time in the world to do what I have to work through the process. Like, I give you a lot of credit for just doing it.
Well, I mean, like that's what I've had to do for, like I said, I've been a freelance artist for about 20 years now, and everything I do is on a pretty crazy deadline. So I have to be as fast as I possibly can and still try to put out good work.
Yeah, that has to be crazy difficult. Well, speaking of that, I do see so many people. I see Nemo in chat. I feel like Top Gun Phantom said it. Chickadee. They were basically all asking, do you like, can people hire you to draw things if somebody wanted to, and how would they do that?
Just contact me. You can go up, my website's michaelborkowski.com. All of the links to all my social media and everything are there, and you can contact me through there. But yeah, when I have time and I have downtime from like my other jobs, yeah, I definitely take on like commission gigs and stuff.
Okay, well, and I'm going to say this, everyone. Wherever you are watching this, we will put the links to Michael's social medias as well as his website below. Or I will say, we'll put it on our website. I have to stop saying we're going to put it everywhere. If you go to our page for this show on the website,
Yes.
the links will be there in the description on our website below. You can link to all of Michael's stuff because it is overwhelming. There's already people. Chickadee, I'm hiring you in chat.
Yeah.
So you got one.
That's what I'm seeing in chat too.
Chickadee is
And
hiring. Go ahead, Nicole.
I see all the stuff behind you, and I'm a collector gal, so I like all that. We have, who was it? Nemo in the chat says, "Do you go to Comic-Con?"
I haven't been to Comic-Con in a long time. I think the last, I went to San Diego Comic-Con in 99, I think was the last time I went. So a long time ago. And I live in upstate New York. We don't have a lot of huge Comic-Cons here. I haven't been to New York Comic-Con, but yeah, I do small ones around here sometimes, but yeah. And you can tell I'm a huge Star Wars fan and
Yes. All that stuff. And did you ever do that job where when people are on the boardwalk and you're like, I can draw you, and then you give it to them and then it's like, how'd you do that in 20 seconds?
Yeah, I've never done that before. Caricatures are very hard. That's a whole nother skill, trying to doing a cartoony version of something. It's tough to do. So yeah, I've never really, especially also having someone watch me draw and I have to do it quickly. I'd be way too nervous to do that.
I can see that.
I mean, I would argue that's what the comics are, but you mean do it quickly, do it in enough time that you're just sitting there. And that's always my problem.
The person's over your shoulder.
With the person watching you, I don't know if that really looks like me.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I would not be able to do that either. Everybody always thinks, it goes so quick. Like this border that we have to have around this show. I think I probably sat there and was picking colors and hate it and was for hours and hours and hours and hours. And you just nitpick every single thing. Yet I will argue that in the times when I just have to go and there's the deadline that you can't, I'm just I don't care. Everyone says that's the best thing, which makes me think I am not talented. Because
I've been there before.
Not listening to myself seems to be the best way to go.
Sometimes you just do your best work under pressure because it's you do it, so the skill just comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You don't get in your own way.
Yeah, you keep it simple. Sometimes the simplest is the best answer. So.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you want to answer this question. It's up to you, but I do see there are a lot of people on Facebook that are asking, but who does Michael want to win the season?
Oh boy. Wow. There isn't really anyone there isn't really anyone that I want to win the season.
I think we all feel that way.
Yeah. But there really isn't anyone there that if they, except for maybe Christmas, there's no one there that I would, if they won, I would be angry about it or upset about it. Anyone left, I'd be all right, fine. Okay. Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, I guess. What about when the season started? Was there any All-Stars that you were like, oh, I hope they make it further?
Obviously, Nicole excluded.
Obviously, Nicole. Oh no, of course I wanted Nicole to win it or, at least go far, right. Of course. No, I kind of don't really root for anyone. I guess I kind of just enjoy watching the show and mm-hmm. watching all the scheming and all the competitions and all the goofy stuff that goes on. Of course, if people act a certain way, you're like, oh my god, get that person out of there. Well, yes. But other than that, I kind of don't really root for anyone. And sometimes it even changes over the season. I'd like to see this person win, and then I don't know about that.
Right.
Which answers the question that I wouldn't ask you directly, but to the people in chat saying, does your bias come out in some of your comics? The answer is a no, because you watch it objectively.
Right. And even if I didn't like a person, I'm professional about it. I draw what they tell me to draw. I don't really try to put any digs in at anybody. I do what I do my job,
I think Nicole and I definitely get that as somebody that interviews all the Big Brother house guests every year. But it's just my favorite when fans will tweet at them and be like, he didn't like you, don't do that. And I'm like, do you understand that there's an opinion and then there's being professional and doing your job?
Mhm.
People just don't get it. It is just interesting to me. But my Syrian Sella 985.
I thought you said Siri. I'm like, why are you talking to
I
Siri?
know, and honestly, I braced myself for to go delete your contacts. Says over in Twitch, Michael, you need to come down to Atlanta for the Dragon Con next year.
I've heard that's nuts. Yeah, I've never. But it's a huge comic book convention. I've seen like pictures and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. I'd love to, but I'm not going anywhere right now.
No, none of us are going anywhere.
We all feel that way.
We did.
Remember they had a movie, or maybe it wasn't supposed to be a movie. Remember, like Big Brother was going to do like the Renegades, the Regulators.
Oh, the Revengers.
The Revengers. Thank you.
Yeah.
And remember, was that like ever supposed to happen, or was that like a joke?
Oh my
Like,
god!
was
Yeah,
it,
I
like,
think that was just like a.
Oh gosh!
This is my life,
no,
Michael. Michael, every day, every day this is my life.
No, because I was really excited for it. Like I saw the preview, I'm like, this looks really cool. And I'm not gonna lie, I waited a year for that movie to come out, and then it never did.
You can't be serious.
No, I swear, you can ask my sisters. Like I waited for a year, and I'm like, it's coming out, and then it didn't. Oh wow, it was never gonna happen, was it? It was just like a joke.
Oddly enough.
Wow,
I mean, I could see why you believe it a little bit, because wasn't Devon in that? So she is an actress.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Dan
like
Giesling was.
And Nicole.
Okay.
And Paul and Victor.
And Paul. Right, right. That's also our other argument. She swears to me she doesn't say Paul. Paul.
I say it like every other person.
No, you didn't. Yeah, no, Nicole, in case you didn't know, but chat loves you and thinks you're totes adorable. That was just a joke.
So it wasn't ever going to happen. It was
never going to be a movie. No.
So I waited a year like an idiot.
But I guess that's
It said coming next summer. It said coming next summer.
Yeah, it was a joke. But here's the thing. Were any of, because they were all in costumes characters, like the real life version of their comic.
I'm just trying to make this happen because I would very much like to be in the rainbow thing that Michael made for me. Like I want him to make that a costume and I can just like jump around in it.
Well, Halloween's coming up.
It's true.
I need to get it custom made.
Please help me.
Oh my god. How did I not think of this? Michael, you're so smart. I got an idea for Halloween. Done.
Great. But remember, I'm being you for Halloween. But Michael, my question was, because I have such a horrible memory, were any of the people from that not movie, were any of those the comics that you drew?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I know Nicole was Frankie.
So
I can't remember who else. Well, I did. They had me do a Dan Giesling one for that because he was like the villain in that one, right?
Right. Oh. So how amazing was that to see, like, you drew that and now it is the literal costume?
That was really cool. And actually, I think right after BB16, Frankie for Halloween wore a version. I think it was like a painted on version of like a nude flamingo. Yeah, right. So that was cool. But yeah, the Revengers thing, that was cool to see them wearing like the actual I mean, Nicole was just wearing her gym retard from that season, like souped up a little bit, I think. But yeah, to see Frankie with like a full flamingo costume, that was cool.
And where are these costumes now? Did they get them? Like
I don't know.
We have to find that out. I would want one. This is why I would be so bad, because I would just be like, you don't have to pay me. I'll just take one of the costumes. It's like, I want one of those for my house. I drew that. Now it's the 3D real life version of it in the world. I would want that. Yes, Nicole?
Well, that's a really great question. Like, Michael, if you can answer, I know like they have at least like 3 versions of each comic. They send one to us as the house guest. Do you get I guess, one of every one that you create, or just one from this season? Or like, did they ever give you an actual comic that was on Big Brother?
No, I've never. The only thing I've ever gotten from them was
That's bull.
because I did a Zingbot comic, and they sent me a Zingbot for President button. That's the only thing I've gotten from them.
That's
But it's weird with me. I hate to ask for things, so I never ask for
Same.
anything. But it was really nice of them, and I think they sent me a T-shirt with Zingbot for President too. So that was cool.
I gotta get you a comic.
Yeah.
Seriously, I
What's
cannot.
with that?
I know that seems so weird to me that they would not even think to do that. But then I guess
Like,
what? Go ahead, Nicole.
like, yes, you're the artist and you drew it, so you have your sketches, your final copy, but that's different than like the actual thing that like production makes and it's on the show and the house guests are playing the comp, using it. Like,
Right.
I gotta make that happen somehow.
So you got yours from
no power.
You got yours from last season, right?
Yes, I have. I forget. I think they give us the correct version because like during the
Right.
comp.
Yep.
I think we get the correct version. So I do have my one from last year. So I can't wait to get my one from this year. It's gonna be in the studio frame.
Look, I got this for both of you. Hold on. Hello, CBS, that I am sure is probably watching this back to make sure none of us said anything badly. I just want to say on behalf of myself, Eric, I would love the Nicole comic because, I'm going to pretend I'm that bank robber when you send her package. And maybe we should send Michael too, like a thank you for doing such a great job. You see how many of the fans love this show. Speaking on behalf of myself, and in no way Michael or Nicole. Okay, back to the show.
That's true. There is 3 versions. So like, boom,
There
boom,
is.
boom.
Hello.
Not that I
Yeah, I know. I never even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, I full on accept that I would have to steal Nicole's from her, or that I'll have to just take a picture of it and like blow it up somewhere and put it here in our little studio. She wouldn't leave. She had from, was it the POV comp, the Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah, OTEV.
Just from OTEV, just the cutout of the Pepto-Bismol bottle. Nope, wouldn't leave it here. She's like 900 things. Because we had to film something for. All right, you all saw it. It was on the intro of the show.
Yeah, the intro.
So we had to film that whole intro package this season here. So she had like all the stuff everywhere. I'm like, okay, you can just leave that there. It's like a piece of Big Brother for me. Someone who's been watching the show since season 1. She's like, no.
No.
I'm stealing that comic.
Over my dead body.
I'll take a picture of it. We'll see. But yes, I mean, I guess technically, I'm sure they feel like you drew them. So if you wanted, you could probably just print your own to hang up.
Yeah.
If that's allowed. Unless that's not allowed, then none of us would ever do that.
I mean, as long as I'm not selling it, I wouldn't think
True.
They wouldn't even know about it. But
right, exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nicole.
I did want to ask in general, like not even BB related, what is your dream job? Like, do you have like, oh my gosh, I wish I could, like me, I'd be like, oh, if I could like create a Disney princess or, work on a certain cartoon. Like, do you have one dream job that you want so badly?
I think the only thing I could think of there is like I've worked on like pretty much all the characters I grew up with, like the Marvel characters, the DC characters that I loved, and like Ninja Turtles and things like that. The one thing I've never worked on, the one property I've never worked on in any capacity is Star Wars. So I would love to do something Star Wars. I've tried in the past, but it hasn't happened yet. But hopefully someday it will.
We gotta make that happen too.
Look, I don't know why that's not happening, because when I was just looking at your website, I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
the things
same.
You have drawn. I also wanted to say, see, Sinatra's mom in chat says, Nicole, you should send Michael, when you get your comic, you should send it to Michael so that he can autograph it for you.
Well, don't put him on the spot.
I'm just, that was Sinatra's mom in chat.
Comics. Send him yours. He can sign it and send it back.
Well, let's be clear. Nicole's going to pay for the shipping back. And she should probably probably.
Hey, we don't live that far from each other.
That's true. That's true. We could just
road trip.
And I saw what I mean. Chat is moving so fast. I
And
apologize.
I saw Wilson Cruz asked about Fortnite. Would you create Fortnite skins? What's a Fortnite skin? Oh, like the characters?
Like the different costumes and stuff. I mean, sure. I mean, if that was.
I'm sure that they hire. I know a lot of people design like the Fortnite skins on Instagram and they tag Fortnite. And then usually if the community really gets behind one or loves one, Fortnite will bring it on. Although I have a feeling they're probably not paying for it. But
yeah, I'm looking for paying gigs.
Yes, exactly. I think we all. Drip over in YouTube says, "Can you ask Michael that if BB Canada were to do comics, would he be willing to do it for Big Brother Canada?" And then he said specifically, can you think of anything you would like to do for Kevin Martin or Sarah Hanlon? But I'm not sure that you know who they are if you're not a Big Brother Canada watcher.
Yeah, I've never watched Big Brother Canada, but I mean, obviously, if they were to do BB Comics, I'd love to be involved.
Yeah, they have this past season that got canceled. They had a very elaborate comic house.
Oh,
yes, okay. It was a comic house this year. Well, is it?
Oh, we had a comic room in this Big Brother house.
Right.
I just realized it's also our house. We had
a couple of mine were in there. It was cool to see.
Yes,
that's awesome.
And I'm so getting this wrong, and he'll probably kill me because I want to say it's Chris Roach from production, but one of the Big Brother people that we have in the US now started in Big Brother Canada. He was like the set designer and all of those things. Then he has come over here. Just my point being, I'm surprised he has not seen how amazing comics are and how much the fandom loves it, and try and bring it back, because I believe he goes back and forth between both. So I'm surprised he hasn't moved it back over yet, but it will. I'm sure it will. Oh, this is a good question. I'm sure you're dying to, although they might not have been here for the beginning of the show. But S Maz in YouTube says, what do you want to say about Nicole F being so upset that Janelle's comic looks so sexy, and while hers was a cereal box?
Well, like I said, I have no control over that. So yeah, and there's not much I can do with it. Not much I can do with a cereal box.
Take it up with production.
Right. Right. Tweet at CBS Big Brother, or don't, because we want to have live feeds next year.
Right.
But I would love that though, like for her, like she was on the show 3 times, each time same artist, which is really cool. And then all your punishments, all your costumes, you literally have a timestamp of like, these are all the punishments. I think she holds the record for the most like costumes, leotards worn, which is really cool too.
Yeah, because 16, didn't she wore a couple of costumes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. She had like a traffic cone.
Was she a frog?
Yes, that was her first.
Yeah, she was a frog, and she had the germatard, and then she was like super safety girl in 18. Yeah.
Wow, so she did a lot.
She did have a lot. And by the way, Top Gun Phantom Savid in chat, Trevor Boris was who I was thinking of. Not Chris Roach, Trevor Boris.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, I don't think it's Chris.
Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank.
What I do ask, Michael, is for those watching or who watch it back that are up and coming art students, maybe they're in school and they don't really know like how to begin. Like, what's your advice to people that want to pursue a similar career to yours?
Just draw all the time. And like, it's different now because when I was growing up, there was no social media. So there was really no place to get your artwork out there to be seen. Now it's very easy to, I mean, you can do a drawing and then 5 seconds after you're done, you can put it out to the world, you know, but when I was coming up, I had to mail things out and like find addresses for people. And so it's tough. So now it's pretty easy to get your stuff out there. But the bad side of that is everyone's putting their stuff out there. So there's a lot of stuff out there and you got to find a way to cut through it. So yeah, it's a struggle, but you know, keep drawing, get your stuff out there, get feedback from people, you know. and
I
just
feel
try to get better all the time.
right.
Love that.
Yeah, 100%. Comment on this show. There'll be a lot of people. If you have some like art that you want recognized, 100%, leave it in the comments of this show. We'll link it to us. Nicole and I will look at it. Maybe we should do. Why couldn't we?
Like a showcase.
We could do like a little Hello Friends showcase of I don't want to limit it to BB themes. So in the comments below this, if you guys draw things when you're watching it back, link us to it so that we can look at it. And then at the end of the season, we'll do a little fun, like a showcase. Like we'll do a digital COVID safe from your house. We'll pull it up on screen showcase. But I think that'd be fun. It's like a mailbag, but for art.
Love
I
it.
love a mailbag show, art bag show. So it's the art bag show. Abby Love in chat.
Maybe a portfolio, probably art portfolio. You know, it's fine. Sorry.
Artfolio, sure. Abby Love in chat says, would Michael ever consider designing an art piece for a tattoo?
Ooh.
I've had people ask me in the past. I don't think I've ever really done it. I know people have I've done a lot of artwork for like Syracuse University, like their mascot, who's like a big orange. And I've drawn him a lot. And I know a lot of people have gotten tattoos of my artwork of him, which is always really cool to see. But I've never really designed a drawing specifically for someone's tattoo. But I wouldn't have a problem with it.
So you're obviously a Star Wars fan, which is affiliated, correct, with Disney? Like, are you a Disney?
Well, Disney owns Star Wars, yeah.
Are you a fan of like the Disney like princesses and cartoons and like Pocahontas?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching all of them. Huge Lion King fan and stuff like that. So yeah.
Now, what about your daughter? Like, does your daughter bother you to draw things? I feel like I'd be like, hey, can you draw this?
She's kind of mad at me because she's 15 and I've never drawn her before.
Really?
So, like, she actually said she wants to go on Big Brother when she's old enough, and she wants me to draw her comic.
Oh, that'd be so sweet.
But
I thought originally when you said she's mad at me because she's 15, I thought that was the whole sentiment. I'm like, yeah, teenagers can be.
That's true too. Yeah, there doesn't have to be a reason for her to be mad at me when she's 15.
So valid.
I got news to you. I'm dealing with a 25-year-old over there, and apparently it doesn't stop.
That's horrible.
No, I love it. Wow, this sentence was going to come off bad. I was going to say, I hope that your daughter like tags us on social media so that we know who she is, so we can. I want her and Nicole to talk now. I think that would be so much fun. But I thought that was going to be creepy when I was like, tell your daughter to tag me on. I'm gay and married, so it's all safe. It's all safe. But yeah. I see Annie had another question. Are there any former house guests prior to the comic comps that you would have liked to have drawn? I feel like we kind of answered that you were like, I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, I didn't really watch before I got the job. So yeah, and it's hard because like sometimes like people reference those past guests all the time and I like don't know what they're talking about. Like even like with Kevin and Memphis, like I didn't know them before this because I hadn't watched their seasons, you know. So
I mean,
I almost feel like is sometimes better. Like I know I don't typically watch Survivor. I think I watched season 1 and 2. No, maybe not 1 and 2, but like one of the earlier ones when I was younger. But like I was watching with Eric and it was a returning season and I was just giving my honest opinion of like these returnees as if they were new, and people like, how dare you say that this person's been in the community for 10 years? I'm like, well, I didn't know that. I'm just saying what I think of them right now. So that's what I think is really cool about All Stars is people that maybe like new fans don't know about. You're giving your honest thoughts on them, like whether it be 10 years later, 5 years later, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like you don't really need to know anything to draw Memphis either. Just do like Garbage Pail, put like some eyes on it. I'm kidding, everyone. We still do communicate caps. What? Go ahead,
I
Nicole.
can't believe how fast this hour's flew. So I just want to say another question from the TV chat. Do you have artwork on your website that you're selling? Like, do you have like a store?
I don't, because unfortunately, like everything I do is owned by someone else. You know, I do stuff for Marvel. I do stuff for Big Brother, of course, and I don't own any of that. So I can't really sell it. People ask me all the time to sell stuff that I've done, and I always want to do things legit. I never want to like, you know, do get in trouble with anybody. So
I don't.
I get that.
I can't. Nicole, do you remember what Memphis's comic was? This he was in the bar and punt.
He was the Memphis.
Okay, then I don't know if this is a joke, but I'm gonna read it.
Oh gosh, what?
It's from Anjan Tampa, and she says, well, Michael should be happy then that he did not draw Memphis's comic, because apparently on the feeds, he was saying it gave him the idea to create a line of adult toys.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know if that's a joke or serious.
Different strokes for different folks. He saw his comic.
Chat is saying it's 100% true. He said it on the live feeds. Great. Well, I hope that was trademark. I don't think CBS would let him do that. They would never let him do that.
I don't know what's up.
Letting him do that. Wow, that is great. Chickadee says, Michael, I appreciate your talent and your work. I cannot wait to contact you. So be on the lookout for a Chickadee.
Cool. Thank you.
Was there anything that you wanted to say to your fans, Michael? Because you have a lot, whether you realize it or not. Is there anything that you want to say to people that are tuning in or came out tonight to hear from you?
Just thank you. It's great when I put this stuff out there and I get lots of, you know, mostly positive feedback, and I appreciate it. And you know, it's been really cool to talk to you guys, and you know, thank you for having me on.
We love having you on. And now, for the people that'll be listening to the audio version of this, tell them what your social media is for Instagram and Twitter. Or you
Yeah, Instagram is Borkowski Art, and Twitter is just Borkowski.
Okay, and again, we will put the links to all of Michael's social medias on the post page for this show on our website. So look over there to link for everything. Nicole, final thoughts?
I'll take it from Sinatra's mom in the chat. Thanks for coming on and making Nicole so happy and Eric so mad. Just kidding.
I was not mad, everyone. I know, I'm just really mad.
No, but seriously, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed speaking with you because like different to hear like what you do and your thought process behind it and getting a little bit more insight into how BB Comics works. And I don't know, it was really, really, really interesting to find out about. So thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
It was great. Well, we cannot wait to see what you come up with, what you create next, Michael. I think we'll have to make this a yearly tradition. As long as Big Brother comes on after the comic show, we'll have to have you come on and tell us more of your thoughts about the comics for that season.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I love it. All right, everybody. We will see all of you guys. Oh, my goodness. In less than an hour.
Yes,
Nicole and I.
Oh wait, did we announce that yet?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so tonight, instead of a show after the BB episode, we will be doing a watch party during the episode. So at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be watching Big Brother, the HOH night moves and whatnot, and we'll be reacting to it in real time. So come join us.
And whatnot. Yes, so we will see you guys all there. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.